Hey, y'all. Well, I have had an incredibly stressful morning, and it kind of all culminated with threats against my kids' school. Someone claimed that they were going to shoot up the school at 1 p.m. this afternoon. I ended up going and getting her and picking her up. But I'll start from the beginning. So it kind of all started around 5 a.m. I woke up with a roaring headache. I got my middle schooler, my 12-year-old baby girl, up and ready for school, off to the bus stop. And while I was waiting at the bus stop, this large dog starts barreling towards me. And I didn't have my contacts in yet. I didn't have my glasses on. I was just kind of like, I dragged myself to the bus stop. And so this huge dog is coming, and I recognize it's a husky. And as it gets closer, I'm like, is that my dog? And I'm like, wait, that's not my dog. But I know huskies. And so, immediately I was just like, hi, baby, And thankfully it was a very nice dog. And it was so excited to see me. Like, apparently we are best friends, and this dog had not seen me in a very long time. Like, it was that kind of an encounter, thankfulully. But, for a split second, I was like, big dog coming fast, it was interesting. And so dog had no collar and, no ID or anything. So I'm holding on to this large, smelly, strange animal who likes me. And I walked it to my car and got it in the car. It was super happy to go on a ride with me, took it and put it in my backyard. So then, by that time, I had 15 minutes to get my other two children out of bed and to school. So that was into the car anyway. So that was insane. Luna was going nuts. My husky was going nuts. I think she's not on the couch. Never mind. Luna was going nuts, nearly tearing the blinds off the windows, trying to see this strange dog in our backyard. So, meanwhile, I'm trying to get the kids ready. And then, I'm posting on our Facebook neighborhood group, anybody missing a dog? And somebody wrote back, yep, that's my dog. And they came and got her. And, meanwhile, I'm feeding the kids breakfast. I'm trying to get them dressed. I'm trying to find socks. I'm trying to find shoes. And, my kids, they're good kids. They're really smart kids, but they're kind of still, like the little ones anyway, they're still at that phase where it's like, you ask them, baby, where are your shoes? And they're like, looking at the ceiling and stuff. And just, where did you take them off last? We're in that stage. So, so I got them all ready, got them out of the door. By some miracle, I got them to school on time. Getting them to school is, I don't know, that's a whole ball of wax I need to deal with at a later date. But basically, I'm actually, one of the things I've been working on for the past couple weeks has been getting our school to install a crosswalk. We have this beautiful school next to a busy road in order to walk to school, which my kids do. So what I do is I take them in the car a little closer to the school because trying to get an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old to walk half a mile carrying backpacks is not fun. So I drive them most of the way, and then we get out and we walk. Well, there's no crosswalk. So one of the things I've been working on is getting them to install a crosswalk. And pretty much every day I see a child almost get hit by a car because they are just running across the street willy-nilly. Anyway, so that's been a whole deal I'm dealing with. And so finally, I dropped them off at school. We somehow miraculously made it there on time. I get home. I'm just exhaling, right? I get a text from my husband, and it's a screenshot of a Facebook post, and it names my daughter's school, And all it says is, was there a shooting at the school? And I'm like, crap. I mean, that wasn't the word that came to mind, but you get the picture. I tried texting her. I tried calling her. She's not picking up. I tried calling the school. The school isn't picking up. You know, I'm starting to freak out. You know, and then of course, you know, my mind goes to like worst case scenarios. It's like, I can't keep calling her because what if she's huddled in a corner and there's a shooter in the school and they hear her phone ring? So I was afraid to call my child. And, you know, so finally, I managed to find more information. The parents were saying, no, there hasn't been a shooting, but there's been a threat. Somebody has said that they're going to shoot up the school at 1:05 p.m. It was weirdly specific. 1:05 p.m. we're going to shoot up the school. And so I just told my husband, I was like, well, I'm going down there. I'm getting her. We're not dealing with this. So, you know, I was supposed to have a meeting right then. I texted him. I was like, hey, somebody threatened to shoot my kid's school up. I'm going, bye, you know, sorry. And they were like, nope, go, keep us posted. And so I went, and, you know, by the time I got there, there were probably about 50 other parents already picking up their own children. By the time I left, I would guess it was around 100. There were police outside this, you know, outside the school, inside the school, not many. Like it wasn't like they were on lockdown, but they were obviously on high alert. And, you know, a lot of the parents, it was kind of funny actually, like some of them are like looking around like, do you see anything, you know, and then others just have their noses like glued to their phones. So there was this kind of like, as I talked to parents, there was this general feeling that yes, this is probably a hoax, but we can't assume that. We have to assume that it's serious. We have to take it very seriously. It's just not worth it to do anything less. And so people are taking their kids home. You know, the school is cracking down on security measures, increasing patrols, that sort of thing. You know, I haven't heard any update on how things are going, but it just got me to thinking, you know, this situation in Georgia just happened, what was it, last week? Where there, you know, 4 people died in a school shooting. And one of the things that I was very relieved, very grateful for how the Georgia courts are handling things is that they've charged the father of this shooter. The shooter's a kid. You know, this is a kid who has struggled with mental health. You know, I think I read on the news, this is all, you know, alleged stuff. This is an unraveling, unfolding story, you know, but this is what I've read on the news. It's alleged that, you know, there were calls to the police, to CPS, you know, school officials knew that this kid was struggling with mental health, with family issues. His aunt, you know, apparently did some kind of interview where she was like, yes, I was trying to help him from far away, but there's only so much you can do because I think she lives out of state. And I gotta tell you, you know, I have that horrible Uvalde situation where the police completely bungled things. Same situation there. That guy was an adult, but it was the same situation where there had been domestic abuse calls, domestic violence calls to the police. He was known to have mental health issues. He was known to be violent. And yet he manages to slip through the cracks, to take advantage of weak spots in school security, to take advantage of a deeply flawed police response, and commit unfathomable evil. And I feel that we are seeing the same story play out over and over and over again. And you know, we can talk about gun laws. We can talk about limiting the access, absolutely, the access of people who have criminal records, who, have serious mental health challenges, who have been suicidal before. But, really what I think, and, I'm saying this as a children's advocate, as an abuse survivor, we need to be taking domestic abuse more seriously. When we have situations, especially recurring situations, where domestic violence is happening over and over, where people are calling police repeatedly, these are red flags. And I don't have all the answers, but these people don't just wake up one morning and decide to shoot up a school. That's not how this works. These people are building up to this over the course of years. They are mentally unraveling. They are becoming more and more distressed. They are acting out more and more. They are being violent, first and foremost, towards their immediate family members. It's usually the way it starts. And then as tension builds up, they inevitably explode. And when they explode, that's when they get on the news. That's when they kill people. And I'm telling you, we can't keep letting it get to that place. I don't have all the answers, but we have to interrupt that cycle earlier on in the cycle, because it absolutely is a cycle. And I will tell you right now, I don't know who called in these threats to my child's school. I don't know. I don't know if it was an adult. I don't know if it was another child. But particularly if it was another child, that is at very best, even if it's a hoax, at very best, that is a cry for help. That child needs help. They need therapy. They need intervention. They need someone to investigate their family. What is going on? Are they being abused? Are their parents safe? Are there drugs in their home? Are there guns in their home? We need to know these things. We need to be proactive about these things, because no child, and I'm talking about the shooters here, when we're talking about children who are becoming that violent, that warped, that depraved, that sociopathic, that they would take out their rage on other children. We're talking about a child who has gone through things that no child should ever go through, right? We need to be interrupting these cycles sooner. That means reporting more often, reporting sooner. When you see something, say something, because I'm sorry to say it, but you can't leave it up to that child's parents to deal with this. Because, as we see in Georgia, the parents didn't step in because the parents apparently are dysfunctional too. They're negligent. They let their kid, even though their kid's struggling with mental health, let's think about this as parents, as a parent. If my child is acting out violently, or has suicidal ideation, or is expressing suicidal or depressive thoughts, why on God's green earth would I let them have access to a gun? I wouldn't. But apparently, not all parents are sane or reasonable or responsible. And so we can't be waiting for the parents to deal with their own children. When we start seeing kids obviously wrestling with serious issues, we need to be more proactive. We need to interrupt that cycle, specifically when we see parents who just aren't being responsible parents. And so I view this, even if it's a hoax, and I hope to God it is, but even if it's a hoax, this is at the very best a cry for help. And at the very worst, it's a legitimate threat. And either way, something needs to be done. We can't just say, oh, it was a hoax, no big deal, slap on the wrist. No. I am done. We should all be done When we hear of hoaxes like this, they need to be treated absolutely seriously as a huge red flag, because I will tell you, abuse starts small. Trauma starts small and then it grows. Evil starts small and then it grows. And so when we see that seed of evil, that seed of mental unraveling, that seed of trauma starting to take a dangerous turn, we need to stop it. We need to intervene. And we can't count on negligent and or abusive parents to do it, because clearly that's not working. And I know for all my followers, you've heard me say this 1,001 times, but please report child abuse. When you see a child in distress, in danger, or even if you just suspect that something bad is happening, that something is wrong, that a child is dealing with things and they're not being given care, say something. You can report anonymously. Request a wellness check at least. It doesn't have to be a full-blown police report for you to get someone over there to make sure that that kid is okay. I can guarantee you, if a kid is making hoaxes like this, they're not okay. This is not normal. So anyway, that was my morning. I am so glad that it is Friday. And that's all I've got to say. I don't know. I just needed to get that out there. I needed to get that off my chest. My daughter is home safe. She's watching anime cartoons and working on homework and drawing, which is exactly what little kids should be doing. So have a good weekend, have a good day, and man, pray for our country. And when you vote, do your research and vote for someone who's gonna make real, meaningful decisions, not just put a Band-Aid and talking points on a problem.